Good morning and welcome to another exciting breakfast with Unity. As you can see in the description, I actually wasn't sure what I was going to do this morning. Someone asked about health bars on Twitter, so I'm going to go ahead and show something about health bars. We're going to use a little contrived example into more of a platformer later. First of all, I've added these files to the repo. It's the Platformer Graphics Deluxe updated set by Kenny. The license is here. It's CC0. Technically, I didn't even need to include a license here. But I figured it might be useful if someone wants to find it. This is the link to it. Just go into the license file here, and it says Open Game Art. Here's what the page looks like that I downloaded it from. This is just so that we have some stuff to work with graphically for 2D type stuff. So we're going to, as I said, this is going to be a contrived example this morning, but that's okay. We can build off of this, and it's going to be set up in such a way that we can use this in any project. It's just that we're not going to have a lot that the player can do. So I'm going to create... So we've got a new scene here. I'm going to save this scene. We're going to call this, what are we going to call this? Health Bar. And we're going to be using Unity 2.6 UI features because they're the new hotness and everyone has access to Unity 2.6 beta. It's not, just search for Unity 4.6 beta. Search for that, and you will find the download for this. You don't have to have Unity Pro or anything. It's not like the Unity 5.0 beta, which is only a pre-order beta. So, so here we are. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna need our health bar. So we have this UI system, and it's got panel, button, text, image, raw image, slider, scroll bar, toggle, input field, canvas, and event system. There's not anything here that says progress bar or health bar. But that's okay. We can actually use slider to do this. So we're going to grab slider, and we're going to go ahead and go to the game view, and you'll see our slider here. And actually, if we look at it here, it looks gigantic, but it's not. It just shows up in the center of the screen because this whole canvas gets resized to the size of the screen. See screen space overlay, that means it will be the size of the screen. So what we're going to do to modify our slider is we're going to delete the handle slide area. And so now if we look at this thing, we have what looks like just a slider. And if we hit play, we can actually kind of play with it. We can just go, see, this is our health bar. I'm going to go Mega Man style, so we're going to rotate this thing. Let's just go to the slider and rotate this thing, if we can, along the Z, 180, sorry, 90. Is that the way we want it? If we hit play, is that the right direction? Yeah, that looks good. And obviously we don't want the player to just be able to click on it and change it. So we're going to turn off interactable. And then this thing should just stick where it is. Cool. So, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to reposition this to this near the side of the screen. We're going to pull up the anchor menu, anchor it to the upper left, and we're going to move it over to be, let's see, 0, no, 50. Oh, width. Oh, never mind. We want the position to be like 0 and 0, basically, except for not. So let's do 50 and negative 50, negative 100. There you go. Now we have a health bar on the side of the screen, and that'll be on the side of the screen no matter what. So so now let's create a very basic player object. Let's just drag one of these sprites in. So when I imported these, I didn't import them in 2D mode, so they're all set up as textures. So we're going to want to change that. So I'm going to go to the player, and we're going to grab. I'm just going to grab player 1 front. So he'll just be standing there, and we're going to change him to be from a texture to a sprite. And how big is he? 64 by 64? Oh, wait, he's not originally that size. Reveal and Finder. How big is he? He is 66 by 92. So let's go, well, let's hit apply there. Let's go here and let's make his pixels unit 64. And so it's kind of weird that he's still being changed. Oh, he is a non-power too. There we go. So if we hit that, apply. So actually, let's make it 66. Is that what the blocks are? Let's find out. And tiles, box. If we were to change this to sprites and hit apply, what does it say down there? 70 or 70? Okay, let's do 70 instead. All right, 70 is our pixels to unit. And then we're going to drag our dude in here. We're just going to go player one front, throw him in here. Does that work? There we go. So here he is at 0, 0, 0. If we go to our main camera and move it down one, he should be right in the center of the screen. And he's just going to stay there for right now. There's our dude. Alright, I'm going to make him a little bit bigger by just making the camera different. I'm going to change it to an orthographic camera. So he's not going to have perspective anymore. And then we're going to make the orthographic size a little bit small. Let's make it 2.5. He's really big on the screen because we are only going to have him for right now. So this will be fine. So we can see his glorious detail. And we're just going to create a little thing that shoots at him. So we're going to just create a spawner. Create empty. We're going to call it spawner. And we already have some spawn scripts. Let's see. Spawn randomly. Spawn objects. I think this is the one we want. Yeah, this one just spawns and keeps spawning things. Yeah, that'll work. The other one we could do is spawn on button. Yeah, let's do spawn button. Let's just interactively lower his health bar. So this is going to be a game where we shoot a little cute little guy with ping pong balls or something. So spawn on button, what we're going to do is we're going to rotate this thing. So I think this script, yes, it uses the transform rotation. That's the important part. So we're going to point this in the direction we want the objects to go. So the blue is the Z, and that's generally what you want to point in the direction. Otherwise, you have to do a bunch of fancy things to get things around. So we're going to change it to 90, so it's pointing to the left. We're just going to put it further down. I'm just going to try and put it slightly off screen. Not sure if we'll be able to tell what's off screen, but I don't want it that far off screen. Here, let's just really quickly show an icon for this thing. And then if we go into the game and show gizmos, we should be able to see the spawner as it comes in here. So if we go to game, maybe not. Let's find out. Oh, nope, we can see it. So there's a little object there. I'm going to just move it just off the screen. Yeah, that was perfect. All right, so we're just going to do that. We're going to put I'm going to turn off the gizmos over here now. I'm going to turn our spawner into a spawner by... Okay, we already have spawn button. Perfect. We need something to spawn, though. So let's create a prefab of something that'll work. Let's see what we got for enemies. Do we have any bullets? We have a snail shell. We're going to launch snail shells at people. So let's change the import settings. We're going to change it to Sprite 2D. We're going to put it to the 70 units per pixel. We're going to hit apply. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drag this in here. We're going to create a new prefab of it. We're going to call this Snail Bullet. And then we're going to put this into the spawner. Now we're going to need the Snail Bullet to move forward. I think we have a move forward script. We do. Perfect. So we're going to add this to our snail. So add component, move forward. Let's make the speed 5. Actually, let's make it 10. And let's see how this works. So if we go to spawner, Snail Bullet, we hit play. So if I hit fire, we should see a shell heading into our general vicinity. And it is not, for some reason. It was not showing up. Even though they're definitely firing them. And it's because, it's because they're rotated. That's right. So we got to do the Snail Bullet. It needs to have a parent. So we're going to create a child and then make that the parent. That way we just ensure that the child's at 0, 0, 0 based on the parent. Doesn't really matter because they're both at 0, 0, 0 in this case, I guess. So I'm going to call this Snail Bullet graphics. We're going to call this Snail Bullet. And so what we want is we want this to be pointed to the left. So 90, negative 90. And then we want to make sure that the shell looks right at that angle. So we just need to do another 90-degree twist here. So there we go. So now this thing will work the way we want. I'm going to create a new prefab. We're going to delete the old one. And we're going to throw this into the spawner. So now if we hit play and shoot, it's still not working. Oh, now they're going the wrong... Wait, why are they shooting out that direction? Oh. Other thing I forgot to do. We want this logic, copy component, remove component. No, that's not what we want. Remove component, and then we want to paste component as new. We want the bullet to be moving, not the graphics for the bullet. So we're going to hit apply here. We're going to delete this, and now it should work the way we want. Continue. Save. Play. Woo, there we go. Snail Bullets. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a script called player health. And I'm going to quit this. And all we're going to do is we're going to store public int health amount equals, let's make it 10 by default, and then private int current health, and in start we're going to set current health equals health amount, and then in on trigger enter we're going to take damage, and that's all we're going to do for right now. So if we get a trigger, we're going to do current health minus equals just minus. That'll be fine. And then we need to update this onto the graphics. So we're going to create a public what is this thing called? It's called a slider. Cool. Public slider. Is slider not in here? Let's see what the script actually is called. Is this a real thing? We can't edit the script, can we? Save, I guess. Yeah, that's what I thought. So this is an internally thing. I would have expected it to just be in there, though. Is slider not in there? Public slider. I'm just going to try it. Public slider health bar. If we save this, does this compile? No. Alright. Gonna have to look up some stuff. Yay. Unity slider GUI.horizontal slider. This is the old one, I think. Alright, if I type slider joint 2D, that's definitely not what we want. UI slider GUI.slider. Well, we've hit an impasse, haven't we? Alright, we're going to try something fancy here. Alright, we may not successfully get the health bar done, but maybe we'll figure out how the slider works. So, I'm going to do public behavior behave IOR. That's all we want, right? Save. Does that actually show up? Behavior could not be found. Mono behavior. Behave. There it is. I spelled it wrong. So now this is a behavior, so we should be able to just throw this in theoretically if these count as behaviors. We're going to find out right now. So I'm going to create another inspector here. Add tab inspector. We're going to lock this inspector. And then we're going to go over to our slider and we're going to drag in, wow, this is much bigger than it needs to be. We're going to drag in our slider into, whoops. Oh, nothing's using the script yet. Let's put this on the player one front. So this is what we want to actually lock. There we go. And then we go back into slider and we drag in this. All right. So it says it's a slider. That's interesting. And yet slider didn't work. All right. So we're going to get fancy here. What we're going to do is we're going to do health bar type get type dot toString. And we're going to put this into debug.log. Going to get fancy. Save. And what should happen, if this compiles, is if we hit play, we should get a printout of the type. UnityEngine.ui. There we go. So what we want this to be called is UI.slider. Let's see if that works. If we hit save, nope, still doesn't have the namespace. Maybe we have to add that using UnityEngine.ui. Let's do that, and then let's just do slider. Let's see if that fixes it. Save. Yay, it fixed it. So now we should be able to do things that we want to be able to do. So if I'm going to close this extra inspector. We're going to go over here, unlock this one. And so now we can put in our slider. It looks like it's already in there. Let's just assume that it's working. And what we're going to do now is current health minus, and then slider, health bar dot value equals, oh wait, this has a min and max value? Oh, that's neat. Hold on, let's look at our slider here. Min value, max value, that's fine. We'll just leave it as percentage. Health bar value equals current health divided by health amount. Health amount. There we go. Save. Now all we're going to do is we're going to give him a collider. So physics, we're going to go with the 3D physics system because I like it better than the 2D one, even for 2D games. We're going to go with the box collider. We're going to set this as a trigger, and we're going to, it's already sized nicely for us, so that's cool. And then we're going to the Snail Bullet, we're going to add a physics rigid body. We're going to set it to kinematic, and we're going to give it a physics box collider. And this one won't automatically size because of the fact that we have this on the parent, but I just want to see, we'll just size it ourselves real quick. Make it a little bit smaller than the actual thing so that the player has a little bit of room to maneuver. And we'll call that good. And hit apply. Delete this. And in theory, continue. In theory, when we shoot our player, oh, he took a lot of damage. That was, yeah. So why did he take so much damage? So player one front, health amount is 10. We set current health equal to the health amount, so that should be 10. Oh, and it's because we're not converting these to floats. That's the problem. So divided by, so we're going to do float. I think we only have to convert one of them, but I'm just going to convert both float. Because if you divide a int by an int, it's just basically 1 divided by 0 in all cases, so it turns out to be 0. So this should work this time. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. That's actually 0. You just still see the health bar, and it still shows a little blob. So we could fix that by deleting that when we die or something. As it's been 20 minutes, I'm going to call this an episode. We're going to save the scene, and so thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully you had a good time. We got the slider working. That's great. We had to add a namespace in there. We learned how to get the type of an object so that you can kind of figure things out if you needed to. So yeah, that's a basic health bar in using the Unity 4.6 style new UI system. So Thank you very much for joining us. If you have any questions, please email me, pushypixels@pushypixels.com. You can also tweet me at Dracfire. And please support us on Patreon. We have a Patreon page. Patreon. Cooking with Unity. There we go. So, yes, you can support us on here. We need your help. And yeah, so thank you very much for joining us, and you guys have a great one. Oh yeah, and if you support Patreon, you get access to the super repo, which has cool extra stuff that we do. Have a good one, and see you tonight for whatever we're doing tonight. I'm not sure what it's going to be. It's probably going to be back to the rail shooter light gun style game. Have a good one, and you guys have a great night, and I'll see you tonight. Man, I've just said things too many times. It is the morning.